Welcome to another episode of the Wandering Watercolor. Today we are painting the fourth page of the Plants and Flowers watercolor coloring book. It's a book that I hand make, and I'll leave the description for it in the video if you're interested. Let's start painting. So this is the fourth page, and it's pretty straightforward. I actually forget the name of this plant, so I apologize for that. But basically, it'll be a light green for the stems, some red for the flower part, and then the pot will be kind of a pinkish purple. And yeah, I think that's it. So as always, have a scrap piece of paper, a place to mix your colors, your paint. This is the paint that I make myself. Obviously, any paint works. And yeah, I'll also, have 2 jars of water on the side. That always helps. And I'm just gonna go ahead and wet my paint. And if you don't have a little spray bottle like I do, you can just use your brush. It's just quicker. That's why I use that. And always a rag. A rag is always very helpful when painting, or honestly any kind of crafts or arts. So we're just gonna grab some green, and I'm gonna grab some more green. I'm gonna grab a lot more green. Grab some water, some more water, kind of. So the paint that I make, it's very vibrant because I put a ton of pigment in it. And because I put a ton of pigment in it, it also comes out a little drier, so it needs a good amount of water to kind of get it going. But once you get it going, you can get some really nice, vibrant colors. Okay, so I'm gonna use that and then grab some, rinse off my brush, grab some of the yellow here, kind of mix it in. Because we want more of a yellow green. We don't want it to be so green. We just want it a little more on the yellow side. Grab a good amount of that. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let me do a test mark here. Yeah, that's good. So for this, all we will do is just a flat wash throughout the whole plant. Just a flat wash like that. And then also here and here. Basically, you're just following the outline. It's almost like this part is really actually kind of like a coloring book, because you're just doing a flat wash, and you just the whole idea is you're just trying to get the base color in so that you can just build on top of that color. It's pretty straightforward. This color, it almost like it establishes the volume, because you can then go in, add shadows, add texture, kind of play around. So you kind of have like a nice solid base to work off of. Be careful over here when you're going through. It's kind of a tight spot. And getting all that in. There we go. And just keep going, doing the exact same thing. I'm gonna start right around there for the stem of that flower, and right around here, and all the way down like that, and get in here. Okay. And just nice and slow. There's no rush. No need to rush. Just trying to get a nice flat wash even throughout the whole plant, or I guess everywhere but the flower. Okay, so that looks good. I'm gonna rinse off my brush. And while that is drying, I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of purple. Just a little bit, not too much. And then grab some red. Trying to get kind of like a light violet. Almost like a pink. Not really. More like somewhere between pink and purple, kind of violet. Let's see. Yep, I'd say that's pretty much exactly what I was going for. I'm gonna color that in. So this is going to be a flat wash for the pot section of the image. So this flower pot is kind of purplish, light purple. Yeah, we can go with that, or violet. And then wrap around the back here. Okay. All right, I'm gonna rinse the brush. And then, while that is drying, we're just gonna get some straight red, just straight out of the pan. I'm actually gonna throw a little bit of orange, just a little bit, because I don't want it to be too strong. Maybe some water. Let me see here. Oh, see, that's a little light. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a little more red, and a little more orange. More water. Okay, let's see how this looks. I'm gonna try to make sure that it doesn't mix in with the green. Let's see. That's good. That's good. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab this color and just lay it in flat, exactly where the flower portion is. And just slowly kind of fill it in. Again, take your time. Kind of telling myself that when I say it. I tend to rush. I don't know why. Okay. We have those two in there, and then the third one. Yeah, this one's gonna come together pretty quickly. Okay. There we go. I'll rinse off my brush. Okay, so the next part is going to be adding some shadows and texture to the green portion of the plant. Oh, there we go. The red got in. Well, maybe we could use it to our advantage. Because if you add red to green, it'll darken it up. Which, I mean, this is almost not exactly what I was going for. I'm going to grab a little bit of brown. I'm also going to grab some of the green. I'm trying to get, I still want yellow green, but I want it to be darker. And I think this one might be, I'm just gonna put a little more green in there. A little more green. This is almost the color that I'm going for. Okay, let's see now. Put a little bit here. Oh, so for this one, I forgot to mention, the light, just like the previous ones, the light source is just coming from straight up, coming down. So this one, kind of trying to show that there's a curvature to the leaf and trying to add kind of an idea of how the shadow would be curving around the object as the light hits it. So like maybe a little line back here, maybe a little bit like this. And the same here, I'm just gonna, because this part would be covered because of the leaf above it. And maybe a little bit on the side. And then a little bit of texture here like this for the leaf, kind of showing, you know, those little grooves that leaves have. Like that. Okay. And then grabbing a little more. So I'm just gonna kind of do like a outline on this leaf. I don't want it to be too thick. Just show the form, and also running down the middle. Now this one can be a little thicker of a line and maybe some variation, and just to show the curves of the flower itself, or I'm sorry, of the leaf. And then maybe just some, kind of quickly pull out some marks, some quick marks. That. There we go. And also maybe a little bit more right here just to show the curvature. A little bit right there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna cover the stem up a little bit like that. And also the stem back here, the one that's in the background, I'm gonna cover that up completely. There we go. And then also this stem, I'm just gonna cover a little bit, almost like an outline going down. And same with the ones that are in the back here. Both of them, I'm just gonna cover them up and then just pull out on one side just to show where the shadow would fall due to the light coming down. And then this one just slightly, just on one end. There we go. Just like that, going very slowly, just to show that there's shape to the stem itself as it wraps around, because it's, you know, it's kind of like cylindrical, so it would have a little bit of a shadow. And then this leaf, I'm just gonna cover this part of it because it'll help the flower pop out a little more. Also give it a little more form like that. And then just a little bit of texture for the leaf itself, just kind of pull out a little bit like that. Same on the other side, like that. And that's just short strokes. And if to get nice and thin ones, just you can flatten your brush, because you see how like it'll give you a nice edge. You can just kind of use that. And then back here, we're just gonna cover this like that. And then also that. Give a little curvature to the leaf. And then some short strokes here just to show texture again. There we go. Just like that. Perfect. And in this one, we're going to cover some of the stem, like that. And then, I'm going to add a little bit of texture, like the other ones. When adding the texture to show, you know, the leaf itself, how it looks on the inside, it's probably better to go from the inside out as opposed to the outside in, because the ending portion of the stroke will have that nice tapered edge, which will make it look better. And then I'm just gonna also just add just extra in the middle, because I'm wanting to show difference in volume in terms of shading. There we go, and also a little bit of outline on the side here, like that. There we go, that adds a lot of depth. Like you can see, it looks way more three-dimensional now. I'm gonna just darken up this one a little bit. I don't like how light this shadow looks. I'm just gonna darken it up. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab some more, cover up the stem in the back here. And then on the side, and kind of bring it out. And same with this, kind of bring it out. That. And then okay, it's looking good. Grab some more paint, and then same thing, just add a little bit of that texture like that. And then same here, although I'm gonna try to give it a little bit of a curve just because it's more realistic that way. There we go. Okay, I'm just gonna step back for a moment. Okay, that looks pretty good. Rinse my brush. And then while those are drying, I'm going to... First I'm just going to add a shadow to the pot. And the way I'll do that is add a little more purple. Mix it in here. Also add just a touch of brown. Just a touch of brown. We don't want the shadow to be too strong, but we do want it to be noticeable. So let's see. It's going to be a little light. I'm going to add more brown. It's going to make it too brown. I'm going to add more purple. Let's see. There we go. That's good. That's decent. And the way that we'll do the shadow is I'm going to go from this end right here all the way to this end like that, and enlarge it, press more as you're going towards the end. I'm going to kind of curve it a little bit, and then I'm going to bring it down this whole side, and then keep it curved, and then bring it back around on the bottom like this, going all the way up a little bit, just like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's a good shadow right there. And then also grab the same exact color and just go just a little bit back here, just to show the depth of the pot itself. There we go. And I'm gonna rinse off the brush. And now I'm just gonna grab another one of my soap dishes here, so I can mix a little better. Not worry about other colors getting in. So now I'm just gonna grab directly from the red, grab a ton of pigment, just put water, get it, make it a little more fluid, make it easier to work with, and then just a ton of pigment. So this part, let me see how it looks. It's nice and strong. I'm also going to grab a little bit of orange, just because I like how the two look when they're combined. Because when you add just a little bit of orange, it sort of dulls the red just slightly, so it's not overpowering. There we go. Yeah, I'm good with that. And the way we'll do it is kind of like how we did the leaves. So first, for example, let me do this one. I'm gonna just, this part right here, it's the outer part of the flower, and I'm just gonna cover it in because it would be in shadow just because of the way that it's positioned. And then I'm just gonna do a little bit, I'm gonna do one line kind of going in, following that little vein that the flower has in the middle, and then just a little bit pulling out of it, like that, just a little bit. And then the little stem on the inside, I'm just gonna cover in one side, and then in the little grooves over here, I'm just gonna add just a little bit on one side, like that, just to show that there's depth there, like that, and like that, and like that, and maybe bring out that edge. There we go. Yeah, that looks great. And now we can move on to the next one. I'm gonna do the one up top here, and I'll go ahead and I'll start over here, just kind of thin, and then widen out the shadow, and then maybe bring it down a little. And then the stem, I'm just gonna kind of put the shadow on this side, so that's good. And then a little bit of shadow here for the grooves. That one, like that. And then put the shadow on this side. And this one's kind of wrapping around. And just a thin line, kind of like a thin outline. And then same thing for the grooves here. Just kind of pull them out. And maybe just a little bit up here. And I think that looks great. Yeah, I'm good on that. So now the next one, I'm just gonna go ahead and cover in this portion, just like that, like the other one. On the side, kind of like a thick outline, just to show the volume. And color in the grooves. And then this side of the stem here, along with a little bit of the grooves. And I'm just going to step back a moment, take a look at it. Okay, all of that looks great. And now I'm just gonna grab a bunch of brown, and I'm just gonna dilute it a little bit. I'm gonna cover it in here for the soil of the plant. Okay. I'm gonna rinse my brush. And then I'm gonna take that same brown. I'm gonna add a little bit of purple right here, just to kind of dull down the brown a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna use this color as the base for where the plant will be sitting. I'm just gonna go ahead and press down and then just kind of pull it out quickly, and you can get some nice texture from the paper like that. And grab some more on the other side. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna rinse off my brush. So this one is pretty much done, but because I want to add more emphasis, kind of like how I did with page 1 and 2, I'm going to go ahead and add some black outlines. You can go ahead and use the black that you have in your paint palette, but just to try to save some time, I'm just going to use my ink brush. And you can find these at any art store. Just ask for ink brush pen. And I love these because you can get some really nice thin lines as well as thick lines. And they're great for outlining and detailing. And also, I can kind of hold it at a better angle so people can see as I go through the painting. So I'm just going to go ahead and go like this. That's just on the middle here. Just give some lines. That. And maybe a little bit on the outside. Same right here. I also like using this one because it has a reservoir that's built in, so you're not like going back and forth with the brush. Although I'll show you the color itself is very similar to the one that's in the palette. I mean, it's just pure black, so it's pretty easy to compare them, or to notice the similarity rather. Okay. As always, you don't have to do this. You don't have to put on the black outline like I do. I just really enjoy the look of it, so it's my preference. The last one, page 3 that we did the last video, I didn't add that just because the shadow color that we mixed did such a good job of differentiating the different details that there was no need for it. I was actually pretty happy with how it turned out. But this one's a bit light. Even though the colors themselves are vibrant, it's a bit light, and I would like to see more definition. So that's why I'm going through and adding these black outlines. And you can see how much it pops. It really begins to pop the more you add. You can also play around with the thickness of the lines themselves, like putting some thicker lines in some places and some thinner lines can really add variety to the piece. Here, down here, I'm just gonna add some dots, just kind of like if it's dirt, you know, just a little bit of, just some dots. And maybe a thicker line on this side, and then thinner lines on the other sides of the plant pot, just because I'm thinking like it would be darker where the shadow is, or like it looks darker if you make the outline thicker where the shadow would be. But you can definitely do all of these same marks with the black of your paint palette, even if you're not using my paint. It'll look almost, if not exactly the same. And then just some squiggly lines up here with some dots for the stem of the flower. And then that, and you don't have to outline every single little bit. Just give some suggestion in some parts. Like that. And then this one. Like that. Okay, and then this one. Okay. Maybe a thicker line here. Create more separation. That. And then same with this leaf. Okay, and then add on the bottom some detail. And then over here. Okay, I'm just gonna step back. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm very happy with how that looks. Okay, so that was pretty much it for that one. Again, if there's any questions, just leave them in the comments. I will try to respond immediately, or I might even make a video if it's something about like specific technique. And then I will try to get a couple of more done by the end of this week. Hopefully I should have all of them up. All right, I will see you next time.